Hello to whoever's watching this. My name is Ashley. I am a junior in college. I am a pre-service teacher, and I'm currently studying for my elementary education multiple subjects Praxis exam. I passed my reading and my math so far. Now I have science and history to study for. So I created this study guide in order to help me, but after I was finished, I figured it might help some classmates or fellow pre-service teachers who are studying for their exam as well. So I'm going to share this with you, and hopefully you find it helpful in some degree. So first things first, I want to make the disclaimer that I am not a Praxis tutor. I'm not affiliated with any test prep agency. I'm just a student who likes to share resources. So I want to make it clear that this presentation, this guide is not guaranteed passing scores. It's simply just a way to improve your content knowledge. There's a lot of useful things in here, and by improving your content knowledge, you can increase your score on the test. So this is not guaranteed. I'm not associated with ETS or anything like that, but I just wanted to share these resources with you. And honestly, they're not hidden. I found this on the ETS site. All of the sources in here that I pull are from the ETS site, from this document that they list for free, and they list the subsection of the science test. They do this for all the exams, but this is the science document. So they list the subsections. This one's Earth Science, and they list all the standards. This is what Praxis says you should be able to do on the test, what you should be able to understand. And then these are all Khan Academy videos that go along with them. If you're someone who doesn't mind Khan Academy for long periods of time, then this will be your study guide. Unfortunately, if you don't like Khan Academy that much, all the videos in here are from Khan Academy, but you can take as little or as much of it as you want, okay? So that is where I got all the links. I didn't go fishing out for these links one by one or anything like that, but I want to make that clear that I did get that from the ETS site. The reason I made this presentation and this guide was because that document was not organized for my brain. I could already tell that I wasn't going to be able to study with that. There was too much going on. It was overwhelming. So I wanted to make something that was a little more manageable, where I could sit down for 20, 30 minutes before my classes start each day and just, brush up on some videos, take some notes, and bang it out like that. I didn't want to look at all those videos and be like, oh God, I have to study all this before this deadline. So that's why I organized it this way. And hopefully you find it helpful. After I created it, I figured it might be a good resource actually for students and pre-service teachers. So that's why I'm sharing it. This is one of the introduction slides. There's a message to whoever's reading this, and I already went over that disclaimer, summarized it. My recommendations for this guide, there's 3 ways that you can use it. So number 1, you can export it as a PDF to an app like GoodNotes in order to write notes with a stylus pen. Number 2, you can make a copy to your Google Drive and type those notes in the text boxes beneath the videos. So if you do want to type this and keep it in your drive, make sure you make a copy, because it will not be shared editable. It will be view only, and in order to edit it, you have to make a copy to your drive. And then number 3, you can print a paper copy and write in the notes section while following along online. So if you're more like pen and paper type of person, you need that, pencil to brain connection, whatever you want to call it. Pencil and paper people, you know what I'm talking about. But if you need that connection, then go ahead and print this out. That's perfectly fine. That's why I left notes sections in here. The only thing is, with printing it out, I do understand I included a lot of black in this presentation, so it could use a lot of ink. But when you go to print, you can actually skip past those slides. So if you go to File and then Print, you can print custom pages. So you can take out all the pages that have a lot of black on them, or ones that you just don't think you'll need, and you can save some ink that way. Because I do understand what that's like when you have to print a resource and you don't want to use up all your ink. So I was thinking about that. And then down here, there's free practice tests. I recommend taking at least one of these before you study so that you can target your studying, you know what to study. And if you already have something mastered, then why spend time on it? Time is precious when you're in college and you're studying for these exams. So don't waste time on something that you already know like the back of your hand. You can find 2 practice tests here at teacherstestprep.com. And with this site, you do have to create an account. It is free. The tests are untimed. So I didn't personally like that because I wanted my conditions to be most like the test as possible. But for someone who doesn't have a lot of time to sit down and take, 55-minute test or 50-minute test, then this might be good for you. You can save and go back later. So there's 2 of those available at that site. And that's for the other subjects, by the way, if you're studying for that. So feel free to use those other tests. And then you can find one test here at 240tutoring.com. This test is different. It's timed. There's no account needed. You cannot save and close, but it's timed. So it's going to be most like the test as possible. So if you really want to prepare, then you can go that route. There are limited diagnostics after completion that can be helpful. So, for example, I took my math subtest, practice test on here, and at the end it told me the types of questions I got wrong and which areas, but it didn't tell me which questions I got wrong. So it was helpful to some degree. I would not throw that one out, and I liked how it was timed. Over here, there's an overview of the exam itself. So like I said, this will be the science subtest for the big Praxis Elementary Ed multiple subject test. It's 55 questions, 50 minutes, and there's 3 subsections. They're each 33% of your score: earth science, life science, and physical science. So enough of that intro. This is the table of contents. These are the 3 sections, and if you hover over the numbers, it will take you straight to that slide where that section begins. And like I said, you can use as much of this or as little of this as you need. That's what I like about it. You can skip around. Every slide is going to have a standard and then resources that align with that standard. So this is what Praxis says you should understand. These are the videos that can help you understand them. Like I said, they're all Khan Academy. So if you don't really like that, then just take what you need and maybe find some other resources that have to do with these topics that aren't Khan Academy. I know it can be like monotonous to hear, but I tend to think that there's short, quick videos that are helpful. You can take your notes down here. And every slide is set up this way. The only thing I want to comment on is that some standards had so many resources that I couldn't fit them in the text box. So this is one standard, and then the next slide, it says that same standard but continued. So you will notice that on some of these slides, if there's duplicate standards, it's because there were just so many resources. But yeah, these are all hyperlinks, and all these videos are like 4 to 10 minutes long. So my recommendation is just to take 20 minutes, 30 minutes of your day, 30 days before your test, and study what you need to. So if you watched this far and listened, and if you plan to use this guide, then I hope it's helpful for you. And thank you for listening.